cove where the warm trade winds blow and the silver blue dolphins glide, where the rum's always strong and the nights run long and the tide is a thief at your side. When the moon's riding high and the lanterns are low and the waves start to shimmer bright, come aboard, cast away, let the sea have its say on another Caribbean night. Caribbean nights, like Caribbean days, more often than not, they're wilder than not, in the boldest of ways. Caribbean nights, neath Caribbean stars. Oh, rogue with a grin, could win or give in, out there past the bars. Oh, the drums on the shore keep a whispering lore of the captains who never came home, and the gulls overhead cry of treasure and dread where the reefs hide a kingdom of bone. But the breeze tastes the spice and the gamble feels right when your heart's set on freedom's bite. Raise a toast, stake your claim, let the world know your name on another Caribbean night. Caribbean nights. Caribbean nights.
Welcome in, everybody, to the 57th episode of Rogue Bard Advice, where I, your host, the rogue pirate archaeologist, the rogue thief pirate archaeologist, attempts to answer the burning questions that are on your minds about D&D, TTRPGs, sports, archaeology, unpainted minis, and whatever else you guys decide to send to me that I may or may not have any knowledge to. But we're back. And I would like to take this time to welcome in our chatters. We have Jim and Kirk and Yokai Lover, and we know that there's a Puffy Cheeto out there listening in on the drive from dropping the kiddos off to back to her place. And we've got Aquatic Messiah, or the Retriever of Gold, and we've got the Pirate Wife, ChristopherBlosser. Yeah. Howdy, Puffy, wherever you are. We do have a Mrs. Pirate. For how long, I don't know. Let's get the bad crap out of the way. We got word this morning at 4:30 a.m. and I've already cleared this with the Pirate Wife. We lost the Pirate Wife's stepfather this morning at 4:30. So Pirate Wife is in a mood, albeit a sad mood, not an angry mood. Though she might be in an angry mood with her mother, but we appreciate that, Jim. We really do. But sad mood, yes, sad mood. But we haven't lost her grandfather yet. She's gonna be inconsolable for years after she loses her grandfather. He's a good man sometimes. Anyway, so now that we got the bad things out the way, I have no videos to start this thing off. I got like 3 questions that I'll try and answer. Um, really was hoping Puffy Cheetah would be here because 2 of them are her questions. Um, so yeah, but Puffy will be here. Where I'm not worried about Puffy not being here. She will be here when she's able. That's what I want. I want to get that out of the way. So, with that being said, I think we should start with questions. First question out is from, I don't know if it's the clone Kirk, if it's the Mirrorverse Kirk, if it's the original OG Kirk. However, Kirk writes, partly a test to be sure my email is functional again, partly a question. What is the first record of gunpowder? How was it used? I'm guessing rockets in China. If so, how long was it before someone pulled a Captain Kirk and used it to fling a projectile, thus leading to the cannons so beloved by pirate folk? Always comes down to cannons. Always comes down to pirate folk, doesn't it, Kirk? Well, I did some research for you, Kirk. This is what I found. The earliest the earliest written record of gunpowder to date, or gunpowder date, to the Tang Song China, the 9th to 11th centuries, where alchemists noted that a saltpeter sulfur charcoal mixture was the first used as incendiaries and fireworks, then adapted into rockets and the fire lance, and only later, the 12th to 13th centuries, evolved into true metal barrel cannons. So China was using gunpowder the 9th century to the 11th century as fireworks and incendiary bombs, grenades, and stuff like that. Before they adopted it into freaking rockets and fire lances. Fireworks and signals was how it was first used. Early uses were celebratory and ritual fireworks and signals, and as incendiaries attached to arrows. So, hey, 9th to 11th century, you wanted the first projectile. There you go. Arrows are considered projectiles, are they not? So, the Chinese were the first to Captain Kirk gunpowder. I am missing what you guys are saying in the chat if you guys are talking about it, because I had it minimized. Gotta stay on team. What about the bat farms and sulfur mines? I don't know yet. Let's see here. Let me adjust this so I can grab everything. So, incendiary bombs and fire arrows. By the 10th and to the 12th centuries, gunpowder was being packed into paper or bamboo containers and used to set fires as thrown or propelled incendiaries. Bat guano was a big ingredient in gunpowder, probably. Rockets, fire arrows. The Chinese adapted gunpowder to create simple, solid propellant rockets, paper or bamboo, tubes filled with powder attached to arrows, and used them in warfare by the 12th to 13th centuries. And when did we say that the pirates got it? The 12th to the 13th centuries evolved into the true metal barrel cannons. So, notably, these fire arrows were used in battles such as Kai Fang Fu in 1232. That kind of rhymes. Kai Fang Fu, 1232. From rockets and fire lances to true projectile guns, the fire lance, a bamboo and paper tube on a pole arm that spat flame and shrapnel, appears in the 10th to 12th centuries. Over the 12th to 13th centuries, Makers replaced organic tubes with metal and began loading discrete projectiles. By the late 13th century, the Chinese were using bronze iron tubes that qualified as early cannons. Gunpowder weapons then spread westward via Mongol contacts and trade and appeared in the Middle East and Europe in the 13th to 14th centuries. We're still not even into the 16th to 18th centuries when piracy was main. This is still 300 to 400 years prior to that. Kirk said he was thinking Star Trek, where Captain Kirk makes a cannon to shoot a Gorn with, using an explosion to propel a projectile versus a rocket to push. Well, then you should have asked about potato guns. So, but there you go, Kirk. Your question is China and China. China used Captain Kirk. They became Captain Kirk. But good question. Good question. Okay, next week's question. When was the first? Really? Okay, I walked into that one. Well, okay, here. I'll have a question for you then. You want me to answer a question about potato guns? Tell me where the potatoes originate. What country in the world is the true natural origin of the potato? If you can answer that one in your question email to me, Kirk, I will answer your question on where the first potato gun came from and was adapted next week. You have relatives from the country where potatoes are from. I will tell you this. Jim's correct. It's not Ireland. Moving forward, because that's what we do here. We move forward. Question 2 comes from Puffy Cheeto. Now, Puffy sent both her questions a couple weeks ago. However, I'm going to answer them without the other added caveat, because this caveat was the next time I have Archeowolf on, these are going to be the questions. However, this year Archeowolf is extremely busy with fire season, and I don't know that I'm going to get him on until after fire season. Question 2. So, Puffy Cheeto asks, I read that in the last year and this year there was a new complex supposedly found through synthetic radar under the Giza Plateau, specifically the pyramids of Khafre. I read it's very hotly debated right now if it's legitimate due to the technology involved, and nothing peer-reviewed has come out on this subject. What are your thoughts about a substructure being there? And would it ever be approved by the Egyptian government to have an archaeological dig to confirm or deny this existence? Oh, Puffy Cheeto. First of all, I don't know what synthetic radar is, so I had to look that up. The short answer that I came up with is current evidence for a vast man-made substructure beneath Khafre is weak and contested. If there was a substructure underneath Khafre, then they would have found it when they excavated it the first time. And they did it. There's nothing there. It's all that pseudo-y science that Archeowolf likes to hate. So do I, because I hate pseudoscience. Because there's nothing there. There's no backing there. There's no substance there. But the SAR Doppler tomography to claim large chambers and deep shafts beneath Khafre's pyramid was used. The work was released via a press event and project pages rather than a full peer review paper with reproducible data and methods. That's your first clue that it's false. There's nothing that we can do to reproduce this data. Independent archaeologists and Egyptian authorities have publicly dismissed the sensational aspects of the claim as unsupported by established methods, inconsistent with decades of fieldwork in Giza. That's the thing that people don't understand. We have decades of archaeological digs and stuff in and around Giza. I was there in 2006. And they were excavating sections of the Great Sphinx there, which is in front of Khafre and the Great Pyramid and Khufre's pyramid. Khafre, and the other pyramid. And they were doing, not only were they doing excavation work, but they were also doing restoration work. They had freaking wooden trellises and stuff all around it. And even back then, in 2006, they took scans, radar or GPR scans of the Great Sphinx and found in one of the Great Sphinx's paws a hollow space. What was in the hollow space? Nobody knows because they didn't excavate it. What did they assume the hollow space was? Well, if you believe the dimensions of the hollow space, the dimensions actually lined up with the actual dimensions of a certain object that has gone missing for centuries, for millennia. An object that if, let's say, a certain movie series was correct, then it would melt the faces off the Nazis. Yes, I'm talking about the Ark. The Ark of the Covenant. The hollow space in the Sphinx's paw is the direct size, square or rectangular, of the Ark of the Covenant. Let's all say a bunch of unsubstantiated nonsense that will drive Wolf crazy until he shows up and corrects. No, let's not. Let's not. He threatened to kick me in the balls while we were at the Norseforged gathering because I had to shut down a question, and I mentioned to the people that they would get a half-hour lecture on the same subject if they went and talked to Archaeowolf, who was at the Norseforged gathering. And I didn't expect him to go actually do that, but they did. Oh. And it's the one question that us archaeologists in the last decade hate. No, I'm not going to say it. It's actually more recent. They are buried Nazi moon rocket launch silos that the secret world government doesn't want us to know. I don't believe that. Poppycock. Anyway, the evidence that the SAR Doppler tomography claim is that there are large chambers and deep wells. This has been rejected by Egyptian authorities. It's got limited public data, which is flag 2. Official stance, there was no permit issued to do this tomography scanning. So, because, see, every government, every nation, every state issues permits for archaeological digs. Weird, right? That you have to get permission to do anything if it's legal. Italy, Germany, Russia, Romania, frickin' Egypt, all issue permits. Now, United States issues permits too, but United States issues their permits at the state level. Except if you're doing things on Native American lands. And then it's at the government level. But mostly, the states are following the government rules on what did Archeo Wolf say the other day? ARPA permits, the Archaeological Resource Protection Act permits. I had to issue some of them. I actually wrote some of them when I was working for the BIA. Now, my permits were for surface testing and limited ground disturbance for like energy projects, but we also did ARPA permits for well, we actually didn't. We just reinstated them or renewed them for mineral drilling because the tribes sell off their mineral rights. They don't sell the land; they just sell the mineral rights underneath the land. They get a healthy. They get a healthy payment for it in perpetuity, but it's still there. So yeah, Puffy, I don't believe any of these claims. If there was substructures underneath there, then Howard Carter would have found something when he was excavating Tutankhamun. There's nothing there. Don't believe these wild and sensational claims about archaeology. If you want to believe something, believe it when it comes out in a published, peer-reviewed paper. That's the best way you'll have the evidence. So, but I thank you for the question. And I'm sure that's another question that Archeo Wolf would thank me for having to explain and not him having to go off on a. I know we all like we all like him to go off on a rant because then I don't have to talk so much. But it helps him too. It lowers his blood pressure. We all know both of us need our blood pressure kept at a low. But thank you for the question, Puffy Cheeto. On to your next question. Now, this next question is actually a good question. Because I actually saw let me which is this one? Oh. Okay. It's still yeah, okay. And yet Puffy isn't here to defend her question's claims. Coincidence? Das runs deeper than we know. No, she is still driving. She told me as such. And if you listen to the Discord, you would know that too, Kirk. Or Mirror Kirk. Or Clone Kirk. Clercone. It's Kirk Clone Bane. Anyway, let's get on to the question. Hey, pirate! The next time you have Archewolf on, I would love to hear y'all's guys take on the Anunnaki, the ziggurats in Iran, specifically the ziggurat of Ur, and the stargates that are supposedly under them. Well, Puffy Cheeto, I think you are a little bit mistaken on some things because the ziggurat of Ur is in Mesopotamia, and it could be just it's a slight typo. IRAQ is only one letter away from IRAN. So, but the ziggurat of Ur, I've actually been there. I flew over it in 2004? 2005? Yeah. 2004, end of 2004, beginning of 2005. I actually flew over the Ziggurat of Ur in a UH-60 Blackhawk helicopter. I took a picture of some of the things around the Ziggurat. I actually have a friend of mine who actually has pictures of him when he was in the military. Full battle rattle, full gear, climbing up the stairs of the Ziggurat, climbing up the steps of the Ziggurat of Ur. It was part of a place that we had to go and protect and stuff like that. But the chances you're asking pseudoscience-y stuff. The Anunnaki Ziggurat Stargate narrative is a modern myth built from Zechariah Stitchin's reinterpretation of Sumerian text, popular sci-fi imagery, and selective readings of archaeological events. There is no credible archaeological evidence for extraterrestrial visitors or a Stargate under the Ziggurat of Ur. The claims. Here's the claims. The Anunnaki as aliens. Zechariah Stitchin's books from the 1970s. Archaeological evidence for this is none. Linguistic and textual errors in Stitchin's readings. Anunnaki equals Mesopotamian deities, not extraterrestrials. The Ziggurat of Ur, well-documented Neo-Sumerian temple, 21st century BCE. That's like 21st century before zero, like 2100 years ago, or 21,000. Century is 100, right? 2100 years ago, or years before zero. Archaeological evidence, there's been extensive excavation, there's restoration records, and there's no sealed alien tech reported. The mainstream interpretation is Monumental Temple Administrative Center restored in modern times. And it was restored in the Saddam Hussein era. So it was restored 80s, 90s. It's an archaeological site. We all of us archaeologists recognize this as a archaeological site. It's a UNESCO site. It's a UNESCO site. The Stargate under the Ziggurat: Modern Conspiracy and Pop Culture. Now, would Archaewolf, the captain of an interstellar battlecruiser from Stargate, like there to be a Stargate underneath there? I don't know if he'd like there to be a Stargate underneath there, but I know he'd like there to be a Stargate somewhere. But there's no verifiable physical evidence. The claims rely on anecdote and secrecy narratives. It's dismissed by historians and fact checkers tied to Iraq, and it's tied to Iraq war conspiracies. I can't stress this enough. Pseudoscience is going to be the death of this field, because people are going to believe what they want to believe. There's no amount of evidence that there's no amount of anything that I can do or Archaewolf could do except still debate and debunk all of these pseudoscience myths and conspiracies until people open up a book and look this up for themselves. Cite sources. This is all a ploy by Big Ziggurat. Oh my God. Really? Really? This is all a ploy by Big Ziggurat that wants to replace more normal words with Ziggurat. Evil. Is it very evil or is it very nice? Or is it very nice, very evil? Are you Danhausen, Puffy Cheeto? Or is Kirk Danhausen? I don't know. I have no idea. But Stitchin's reinterpretation reframed Sumerian gods, the Anunnaki, as spacefaring beings and introduced Nibiru and advanced tech ideas. His translations and assumptions are rejected by Assyriologists. Now, I also consider myself, as much as I am a pirate, right? I consider myself a small. I wrote a paper on Assyria and Mesopotamia and King Nebuchadnezzar II and King Nabonius and all of this. So I have a minute knowledge of the Sumerian, Babylonian, Assyrian, and Mesopotamian empires. Not as much as I'd like, but I do have that knowledge. And I've been there. This is something that I can actually say I have been there. And don't you think if we had Stargate technology anywhere in the world, that we would be using it? I mean, think about it. It's instant transportation from one place to another. That would be absolutely lovely in my field of work, working for FEMA. I could just go to the nearest Stargate and poof, I am at my duty station. I don't have to sit there and get on a plane. I don't have to sit there and drive 1,100 miles to my duty station for my deployments to help everybody out before, during, and after disasters. Because that's what we at FEMA do. We assist people before, during, and after disasters. The pulp culture reinforcement to these wild and unsubstantiated claims comes from Stargate and documentaries on YouTube and Ancient Aliens, and all sorts of that. And they graft into these conspiracies that Stitchton had in the 70s. But what makes people claim these today is all the secrecy, the modern events and secrecy narrative, Saddam's restorations, military activity around in 2003 were read as cover-ups by conspiracists. Fact checks show these interpretations are speculative and unsupported by primary archaeological reports. I can tell you this: we had troops there at the Ziggurat of Ur because it's a place on the route from Kuwait to Baghdad, and it's a place that we needed to secure so that we didn't get our people shot up by extremists, by, honestly, the people of Iraq who didn't want us there. We're not talking about the Iraq War. We won't talk about the Iraq War. Kirk believes, or he loves the conspiracy theories, including making them up, even though I don't believe 99.999% of them. Well, Kirk, did you know that 98.5% of all statistics are made up on the spot? Wait a minute, Yokai. Wait a minute here. The Anunnaki featured in the 90s versions of Johnny Quest, a minor show, but still, Johnny Quest was not a minor show. You take that back. Johnny Quest, the real adventures of Johnny Quest, was not a minor show. That was a freaking awesome show. Kirk, I made that statistic up. I'm confused. Nobody told me a new stream was started. I'm glad you got the stream started. So it went live. I said that in the chat. We're live. In the Discord. But so we'll cover that, Kevin. So what had happened was the original episode title of this show is not Bruce Lee, by the way. It was The Quick and the Dead. But apparently, the overlords over at YouTube did not like the title of the show and therefore would not connect the show, would not connect my Streamlabs to the YouTube. So I had to change the title of the episode. Well, I don't know where you're at, Kevin, if you're not in the Discord. Yokai. I loved that show so much. I remember the video game, the PC video game, The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. Yeah, because I didn't title it something soulless like Unalive. And it really, the title of the episode really is a title of a movie starring one of the people that is in the episode tonight. I mean, but we got it figured out, and we started 15 minutes late, so not to worry. As Kevin stated earlier, it just proves that I'm not AI. So, speaking of, hold on a minute, not AI, but just I am looking at something. I will show you guys. You weren't able to play the game, but I watched every single episode, and I have the theme song on my phone. Dude, that's awesome. I like that. I like that very much. No, I want to go to comments. If I could show you guys this. Guess what I did? It's not purchasable yet because it's not going on sale until August 1st. But there's the book. And it's in PDF form. And it's in a paperback copy. And you can buy it as soon as I make this page go live. Okay? There's the book. And there will be 1,000 copies. 1,000 copies. If I can find a binder here in Oklahoma who will do the soft leather binding, and that smells that smells like good leather too. But there will be 1,000 copies of the first edition special edition. And you'll know it's the first edition special edition because it's going to have a yellow or a gold silk string bookmark. The second edition will have a red bookmark. Third edition blue. Fourth edition black. So, but yeah, I'm working on it. Oh, it's been published. It's just not available for sale yet. And Jim had an anniversary. Did I miss Jim? Did I miss you had an anniversary? Your 33rd anniversary. Congratulations. I did miss that. I did miss that. 33 years. Like, marriage anniversary or work anniversary? Or birthday anniversary? And Kevin, you just missed a gunpowder question and two pseudoscience question. Marriage. Oh no, you're much older than 33. Well, marriage equals work. Yes, it does. Anybody telling you differently is selling you something. What's that quote from, chat? And should I give you the full quote then? I don't want to be right back. I was already right back. I just wanted to go here. The full quote is, "Life is pain, Your Highness. Anyone telling you differently is selling you something." And the winner is Yokai. Absolutely, it is Princess Bride. You mock my pain, sir. Life is pain, Your Highness. Anyone telling you differently is selling you something. No, it's Princess Bride. It's Buttercup is saying this to Wesley as he's dressed in the Dread Pirate Roberts, when she's yelling at the Dread Pirate Roberts, telling him that he murdered her fiance, Wesley. It's not Vicini. No. This is after Vicini is dead. Yes. And that's when that's when he yells, "As you wish." And then she's like, "Oh, Wesley," and rolls down the hill after him. Yeah. No, except your fastest ships. That was the Prince Humperdinck. That was Buttercup asking, or that was Buttercup asking a question to Prince Humperdinck. I know that movie. Though I know a lot of movies and a lot of scenes and a lot of drama stuff. Cary Elwes did all of his own stunts. Andre the Giant did all of his own stunts. Mandy Patinkin learned fencing for the movie and did his own stunts. That was a Rob Reiner masterclass. When they were doing the scene at Max's shack, it started with the whole cast and crew in there. And by the time they got the final cut done, it was just Cary Elwes's mannequin double and Billy Crystal. Like, even the camera guy was ejected from the set because Billy Crystal was that funny. Everything that he was saying was coming off the top of his brain. Nothing was ever written down. And he kept making everybody break character. Even Rob Reiner had to go. It was just, and they let 7 hours of Billy Crystal just improvising the scene, just rolling. It was actually very good. Mandy Patinkin and Cary Elwes spent 4 hours a day when they weren't filming training for fencing. But yeah, no, the whole Miracle Max, that was all improv. That was all Billy Crystal, pure improv. See, this is what we do. We get off. You guys make me say something, and while we don't have any other questions, it just moves into another topic and it rolls. It absolutely rolls. So, with that being said, it is time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to set our sights on our deadly dungeon. And this week, our deadly dungeon featured these 8 competitors: Bruce Lee versus Conan the Barbarian. Now, originally we had Conan the Barbarian from the animated series because I thought that Samurai Jack would get further than Samurai Jack did, and then we'd have 2 cartoon characters fighting each other. But we didn't, because Samurai Jack did not. So we're going to use this picture of Conan the Adventurer, the animated series, in lieu of an Arnold Schwarzenegger picture of Conan the Barbarian. Don't hate me, guys, because it was originally the cartoon. And then we have John Wick versus Alex Murphy, RoboCop. And we have Riddick against the man with no name, also Clint Eastwood. Also in the movie The Quick and the Dead, YouTube. The Quick and the Dead. I'm going to say that 3 times. Votes are already done, Kevin. You can't vote. Once we get to this point, I can't change the percentages. And then we have James Tiberius Kirk and John McClane, who is charged, if you look at the picture, he's charged with yippee-ki-yay disturbance. That is absolutely the best picture that I have found for John McClane. But without further ado, let's see how our competitors fared in the Deadly Dungeon. According to our 100 Battle Simulator, we're starting off with Bruce Lee and Conan the Barbarian. Bruce Lee is a peak human striking speed, precision, and reflexes, expert in Jeet Kune Do and close quarters disarm, disable techniques, exceptional balance, and timing. It's a simulator, yes. Which movie title again? What? I don't know. Oh, The Quick and the Dead, Kevin. The Quick and the Dead. Conan the Barbarian has massive strength and durability, expert swordsman and brawler with brutal finishing power, a high pain tolerance, and battlefield experience against varied foes. Bruce Lee's strategy is to avoid heavy committed exchanges. He uses speed, footwork, and targeted strikes to disable limbs and sensory targets. Employ grappling and joint manipulation to neutralize Conan's power. Conan's strategy: to close quickly, absorb the strikes, and land heavy, fight-ending blows. Use reach and momentum with blade or heavy improvised weapon to overwhelm Bruce before repeated precision strikes accumulate. Within the 100 Battle Simulator, Bruce Lee wins 44% of the time with speed, precision, disabling strikes, and the ability to avoid decisive blows, while Conan wins 56% of the time using his overwhelming strength, durability, and single strike lethality. Conan wins more often because a single heavy strike or blade can end the fight before Bruce's cumulative precisions take effect. Bruce's path to victory is surgical, Disable Kona's weapon arm or legs quickly and avoid being pinned or caught in a committed exchange. But we do not use the simulator's percentages. We use what you guys vote for in the polls, and what you guys have voted for in the poll before Kevin had voted, because now it's a 50-50 vote in the poll. But before Kevin had voted, and when I made this up, it was an 80-20 mix. I think it was. We'll go here to see. No, it was a 60-40 mix. It was a 60-40 mix. Our next battle is John Wick versus Alex Murphy, RoboCop. And as you guys can see here, the algorithm has John Wick winning 28% of the time, and Alex Murphy 72% of the time. Well, you guys flipped it 80-20. We know the profiles. John Wick's an elite assassin, unmatched pistol and close quarters marksmanship, rapid reload and movement, expert in tactical grappling and knife work, relentless and adaptive. And RoboCop is a synthetic law enforcer with armored endoskeleton. Shouldn't that be an exoskeleton? That should be an exoskeleton, because it's on the outside, right? Endo is inside, exo is outside. Integrated targeting systems, Auto 9 service pistol, superhuman strength and durability. Well, that's because he's freaking a cyborg. And limited but precise mobility. Wick's strategy is to use speed, movement, and cover to create fleeting firing windows. Aim for sensors, joints, and power conduits. Employ explosives or EMP-style improvised devices if available. Close to finish with knives if RoboCop is disabled. I don't know where you're going to stab RoboCop if he's disabled with a knife, except for his face, because he's robot everywhere else. It's just literally his freaking head and spine. RoboCop's strategy is to use integrated targeting to control medium range, absorb incoming fire, and return accurate lethal bursts. Use strength to close and restrain if Wick attempts to grapple, and deny the EMP or hacking opportunities. Okay. I know he's electrically shielded. Like, you can't have him walk in water and electrify the water. I think he's electrically shielded from that, which would probably make him electrically shielded against EMPs too, right? Anyway, the 100 battle simulation has RoboCop winning 72% to John Wick's 28%. And RoboCop wins most encounters due to armored resilience and pinpoint firepower. Wick's victories require either environmental access to EMP hacking tools or flawless hit-and-run tactics that exploit sensor blind spots and force close quarters disabling strikes. I don't think John Wick gets away from the Auto 9. I'm just saying, I don't think he gets away from the Auto 9. And what we didn't take into account is in RoboCop 2, Alex Murphy gets a jetpack. So Alex Murphy can fly. So, but before the voting was in, the Discord had it 80-20. Now after Kevin's vote, it's now 83-17. Not too much difference, but our next competitors on the list is Riddick and the Man with No Name, Clint Eastwood. Riddick's night adapted vision, savage close quarters combat fighting, expert stealth and ambush tactics, high pain tolerance, and survival instincts. Man with No Name, legendary gunslinger, exceptional marksmanship, cold patience, tactical use of cover and timing, ruthless efficiency with a revolver. I think the Man with No Name is outclassed here. He's definitely outgunned. Riddick's strategy is to fight in the darkness or cluttered terrain. Use stealth and ambush to close quickly. Employ brutal finishing moves and improvised traps. Avoid long, exposed sightlines. The man with no name strategy is to control the sidelines and distance, use precise, decisive shots to stop threats before they close, bait Riddick into predictable approaches, and exploit timing. However, if this is happening at night, none of those things matter to the man with no name, because he doesn't have night vision. No, Alex Murphy is RoboCop. No, because Alex Murphy dies. He basically dies, Kevin. And Kirk, you need to watch a Riddick movie. Quit being under a rock, Kirk. I mean, I know that's where your unpainted minis live, but you don't have to live under that rock. Indy 100 Battle Simulator. Riddick wins 64% due to his low light vision, stealth ambushes, and brutal close-in fighting, while the man with no name wins 36% of the time. Precision shooting, timing, and ability to control open engagements. The final verdict was Riddick wins most fights where darkness or clutter allow him to ambush and close. The man with no name wins when he can force a daylight open engagement and land a single decisive shot before Riddick reaches Kniffy range. You and your unpainted minis better like your rock. You're like Charlie Brown at Christmas time, wearing his ghost costume. I got a rock. Oh, and our final battle for the evening, for the Deadly Dungeon, for this week's Deadly Dungeon, our final battle is James Tiberius Kirk versus John McClane. James T. Kirk is a Starfleet captain, charismatic leader, skilled in hand-to-hand combat, tactical improvisation, and creative use of technology and crew resources. He excels at turning environments into advantages. John McClane is just a New York detective, improvisational fighter, high pain tolerance, expert at using environment and guerrilla tactics, excels in chaotic improvised fights and dropping people from the 50th story of a building on purpose. Kirk's strategy is to use tactical cunning, improvisation, and available tech or tools and leadership to create diversions, exploit superior situational awareness, and quick decision-making to outmaneuver McClane. McClane's strategy is to create chaos, use guerrilla tactics and improvise traps, exploit overconfidence, and fight dirty to neutralize technological advantages, rely on endurance and surprise. We're going to go over this after, because I got a bone to pick with the Star Trek universe, and it just came to me. We'll go over it. But according to the 100 Battle Simulator, John McClane wins 53% of the time, using his unpredictability, improvisation, and ability to turn an environment into the weapon. Or James T. Kirk wins 47% of the time, though his decisive factors are tactical improvisation and use of technology and crew resources with strategic cunning. This is a razor contest. McClane narrowly edges out Kirk in many neutral or urban scenarios because his dirty improvisational style thrives in chaotic environments. Kirk wins when he can leverage technology, crew coordination, or controlled tactical setups that neutralize McClane's guerrilla advantages. I'm going McClane because that Kirk's strategy seems like it's the same strategy that Hans Gruber used or tried to use. Hasn't there been a lot of unfair advantages through this break? Listen, there wouldn't have been any unfair advantages if you guys had not voted to have me reseed everybody after the first round. You guys asked for this. If when we have a Pirate Bard Con, we shall watch a Riddick movie with Johnny Quest as lead in cartoons. I like that. I know Kirk is far smarter than Hans Gruber. However, Hans Gruber also has magic. He's got a wand. Kirk's got a phaser. Hold on a minute, everybody. The pirate wife is in the room. What's up, pirate wife? Are you not watching?
Because you can't Captain Kirk my phone. My phone rang again.
Well, sounds like a personal problem.
It was.
Her phone rang, so she had to get off of the chat.
I asked if we could Captain Kirk my phone.
I didn't see that. What does pirate wife think of the beads in the beard? They're not beads. They're actually just rubber bands.
They're rubber bands.
And she actually likes it.
I do.
I've actually got to get my stylist back here so we can redo it because it's funny. It's coming apart. It's falling out. It has been a month.
It's growing out.
It has been a month.
It's growing out.
Not only is it growing out, I'm pulling it because
Well,
it's itching.
it.
Because I'm itching and it pulls. I know. I don't have them yet.
And you need beads or other stuff. It's just true. He does. He does.
Anyway, so that is the Discord wanted James Tiberius Kirk 80-47 or 80-20, and the 100 Battle Simulator has it at 53-47. So there you go. Now our bracket is shaping up. Our bracket looks like this. See, we only have 4 more matches.
Ooh.
1, 2. Wait a minute. Why didn't this one go? Hold on a minute. This is not the bracket.
These are not the droids.
This is not the bracket.
The droids you're looking for?
No. I have the bracket. I download the bracket. I know I put the bracket in here. Oh, the bracket's right there.
You need bones and...
There's the bracket. There's the bracket, everybody.
Bones and buttons.
Maybe. But there's the bracket, everybody.
Yes, I'm leaving now.
There is the new bracket. I don't know why it didn't set it up, but we fixed it. We only have 4 matches left. Michael Knight versus Beatrix Kiddo, Sarah Connor versus Jackie Chan, Buckaroo Banzai versus Angus MacGyver, and Trinity versus Neo. Thomas Anderson, the one. That right there, that's gonna be the battle. Now, if we go back to here, we're gonna see who battles who first. We know these are the last 4 competitors, and I have to go through it. So, Wheel of Mortality. Turn, turn, turn. Tell us the first set of competitors. The first set's going to be Buckaroo Banzai versus Angus MacGyver. The second set of competitors is going to be Trinity versus Neo. Okay. This is an adult channel, right? Is this going to be a battle or is this going to be a sex scene? I don't know. I mean, it could be both. It could be both. Our third set of competitors. Who is it going to be? It's going to be Michael Knight versus Beatrix Kiddo, the bride. And that means our last fight is going to be Sarah Connor. And I'm going to spin it. It's going to be Sarah Connor versus Jackie Chan. Sarah Connor versus Jackie Chan. And I believe if Sarah Connor wins, let's go back to our bracket. I believe if Sarah Connor wins, she's going to be the only one from the Terminator universe. Am I right? Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna be the last survivor of the Terminator universe. That's interesting. That's interesting. I thought John Connor was on this list, but apparently I was incorrect. Anyway, well, that is our deadly dungeon for this round. And I'm going to put those into poll right now so that we can go into chat and talk about the good things of the week for everybody. Because the pirate has good things of the week. So, if everybody wants to put their good things of the week in the chat, I will address them as soon as I get the polls done. You got to vote. I'm putting it in right now, Kirk. Battle 13 was Buckaroo versus Angus. 1 week. Boom. And then the next poll is Trinity versus Neo. 1 week. Go. Create poll. Not Deadly Dungeon, although that would be funny. And then next week, after we do the battles, we will get on the randomizer. We'll put in the people's names in the randomizer and randomize their next seedings. Unless you guys don't want the seedings to be changed. But we'll discuss that too. There you go, everybody. The Deadly Dungeon polls are up in the Discord. Kirk's good thing of the week. Well, let's go with Kevin first. I just want to know where in the story Neo is, because early story Trinity wins, but late story Neo is practically God. Let's do Resurrection, the 4th Matrix movie, where they're both basically gods. Good thing of the week, Kirk. Got a new window AC unit, is making a difference for the 3 rooms upstairs. There have always been ovens the 20 plus years we've lived in the house. That's awesome. Jim, it's great, especially with how hot everything seems to be lately. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. I did find out we had the AC guy come to the house here. You know what? I don't know if I'm on freaking camera. I'm not. It's still in a bracket. So let's go to the live scene. We had the AC guys come to the house here, And come to find out, the pirate room up in my office feeds from the AC handler, right? And it feeds from an 8-inch ductwork from the air handler, which is fine if it was just going to my office. But it splits off, and they put a 2-inch or a 4-inch. It goes from 8, splits off what, a 2 or a 4-inch to the, I think it's a 2-inch, to the bathroom. And then they taper it down to a 6-inch to go into my room. So it's hot in here all the time, especially since I got massive computers and stuff like that. And it's hot in here all the time. So that was knowledge good thing number one. I had a dietitian appointment on Wednesday, and my dietitian reaffirmed that the VA had denied me previously for GLP-1. And then we're sitting there talking, and she's like, "What? But they've opened it up for individuals with other things going wrong with them, like severe obstructive sleep apnea." Which, guess what the pirate has? Which, if they would have spent more than 10 minutes looking at my request to begin with, they would have seen that. So we put it in again, and lo and behold, guess what? The pirate is now on Zepbound. Woohoo! GLP-1. The pirate is excited for this new development. I can get fans that pull air from the ducts. Well, that's great, Kevin. Or that's great, Kirk. If there was any air to pull from the duct. Literally, I get like no pressure out of this air ducting here. So I don't know if I'm gonna go 8-inch all the way to my room and then have a 4-inch or 2-inch come off the 8-inch to the bathroom, and I'll do that myself for like $56. But if they come in to do it, it's gonna be like $1,300. I'm like, you guys can pound sand. Not GOP-1. I am not Donald Trump. It's GL. L is in Lloyd 1. It's weight loss. Zepbound is actually trizepatide. So it's a combined medication, GLP-1 plus a something for obstructive sleep apnea. It actually helps with both. Whereas Wegovy and Mounjaro, they're just semaglutide and something else and Rybelsus, and they're just strictly for diabetics and weight loss. Yeah, it's cool. So I just started that today. Shot myself in the belly with the freaking needle today. Now I got to shoot myself in the belly every Friday. Let's see. Oh, and the pirate wife got a new refrigerator. Well, the pirate husband got the new refrigerator, or did the research for the new refrigerator. But we got a new refrigerator. Yokai's good thing in a week. Not much, but getting tested to try to figure out stomach issue that's been going on for months. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you have GERD or not, because I don't know what your stomach issue is, but I hope you don't have GERD. Don, you ever stick yourself with a thumbtack? Or like one of the, what are they called? Oh, Jesus. I don't know what they're called. They're the pins that you squeeze together and one side opens up with a pokey side. You ever stick yourself with that? That's like what it is. And it's only like, hold the button, press the button, you hear the click, let go, or once the second click done, you're done. And it's like click, click. So no, it didn't hurt. No, you're not derailing things. We're talking with this is chat. We're not derailing things. I just don't know what those handy pins are called. The metal U-shaped pins. Safety pins. Are they safety pins? Safety pins. Yeah, they're called safety pins. It feels like you're getting stabbed with a safety pin. But it's very, very small. It's kind of like, what's the smallest needle? Or better yet, ever prick yourself to get your blood drawn for your blood sugar test? It's exactly like that. It's like getting stabbed with a lancet. No, it's like I said, Kevin. It's like a lancet, right? Prick your finger. Oh, but so that was the Pirates' good things of the week. New fridge, new medication. In 2 weeks, Pirate will be in Anniston, Alabama for training. May have to postpone Friday the 26th episode only due to I'm leaving Anniston at 5:30 in the morning. I won't get back here until 4:30 in the afternoon. And if I have time to put the show together when I get home, then we'll have a show. If not, it'll be a daytime. It'll be a 26th call. It'll be a daytime call. It'll be that day call kind of thing. So, but we got the book. We got the book run. If I could find, like I said, I need to go and I need to search for an artesian bookbinder who specializes in leather-bound books. Yeah, that's it. And we're 18 minutes past the hour, which technically we're at an hour because remember we started 15 minutes late. So with that, I think it's time. I really think it's time, everybody. And it's that time where I would like to thank everybody for joining me on this episode of Rogue Bard Advice. Please, I implore you, I have no more questions to answer right now. My inbox is empty. So please, if you have any questions regarding D&D, TTRPGs, archaeology, sports, we're coming up on FIFA World Cup, guys. Please email me at roguebardadvice@gmail.com. And I will try to answer your questions. We need content. We need you guys. I can't do this show without you guys. I want to thank Kirk and Kevin and Jim and Yokai and Puffy Cheeto, wherever you're listening to. And hopefully there are people lurking who are first-time listeners to the podcast. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for being part of this. Please go and like, share, and subscribe to this podcast if you like this type of content. If you don't like this type of content, then what are you doing here? This is great content. With that being said, there is a pirate class in D&D, Kirk, and if you want, send me that question and I will go through it with you. But we are at the end of the show, everybody. I want to thank everybody for being here. Next week, we will be here at the same time, same channel. Oh, I forgot. Pirate, the rogue pirate archaeologist, we have new internet here at the house. So it is much faster. Upload and download because we have AT&T Fiber. Yes, we have 1 gigabyte per second of fiber technology, fiber optics. And it is fast. It is upload and download fast. So if you've got AT&T Fiber, and this is not a paid plug, but if you have AT&T Fiber available in your area and you're not using it, what's wrong with you? With that, this is the Pirate Archaeologist, the Rogue Thief Pirate Archaeologist, Captain Bartholomew Bones McCoy, or simply Chris, wishing you all a very, very, very good weekend. Don't watch America 250 UFC fight. I will not be. And with that, take what you want. Give nothing back. Drink up me hearties, yo-ho. I will see you next week.